down all the goals scored in the Premier League. And today we're doing Chelsea against the Fulham. As Chelsea might have just shot their foot in the old title race, but still think they're bang on for the top four here. A couple of little things we're going to talk about, but one of the things is Cole Palmer. He does drift in and out of games quite often, but he does seem to have like a massive impact when he does, a little bit of brilliance here and there. And you can see just from this, before we start anything, of the pocket of space he finds himself here inside of the Fulham midfield. He's right, look, there's no one close to him to be able to pressure. No pressure on the ball here at all. You're receiving the ball back. Everyone's kind of on a little bit of a half jog that makes it in for an easy pass. There's more to it than that. Even though he's just in there and he's got that little pocket of space, on the point of him receiving the ball, he still has an awful lot of work to do to get anything from this whatsoever. So, as we can see, when this first ball's played in, let's have a little look, a little bit of a touch. Here he is about to receive the ball on this little first play as it comes in. There we go, bump, and we can see the problem with his body shape. He cannot get anywhere near the player now because he's not set correctly. He's not actually in between the player and the goal. Now the player can dictate what's going on. That doesn't really make any difference because this guy here, he's got a little bit of a tricky footwork. Doesn't even need to drop a shoulder. All he's doing is slowing down the pace and then accelerating the pace. I've mentioned it a couple of times on different videos. And if you want to beat players, you don't need magical footwork and all that stuff. And I'm going to break that down a lot more in one of my coaching videos about what a waste of time that is. The only things that matter are shoulders and hips, because subconsciously you move on shoulders and hips. So if you do a shoulder movement down the pub or in your house, twitch your shoulder at someone and watch them think you're going to hit them in the face, because subconsciously people react to shoulders and hips. That's all you need to do. Right here is he slows the ball down and then he goes. This guy's already got his feet planted and he can't react quick enough. So Cole Palmer can just goes past him, bump, see the slow movement and then the quick acceleration, he's gone. Because of the slow movement, that makes the other player plant his feet and enables him to go past very, very quickly and easily into the next pocket of space. Now this cat here has got an option. Does he go and squeeze the ball? Yeah, he should do, really. He's got to leave his player. He's got to go into this place here. This guy's body shape's just a little bit too wrong. Why his shape is wrong is because he can't push off either foot here and accelerate into the space. Do you see this guy's got his knees bent so he can actually run and push himself forward. He doesn't. So it makes it very difficult for him to sort of react to anything that Cole Palmer's going to do here as he moves forward. So as he does move forward, look, another little skip, because this guy's, again, on the wrong side of him and can't really challenge. Now, you see, if this guy, like I was saying, had stepped forward, this is the opportunity where he could have won the tackle, because he would have been one step further forward, about there, and that's where he could have tackled him. Or maybe he had the pass played in behind him, but it's Jackson, so who cares? But that's what he would be looking to try to do, capitalise on the error there. The error is, well, he's under pressure and he's nicked the ball and now you can win it. But it's not really an error. It's a game of, as I've said before, he gets a go, I get a go. His go is he's knocked it into the space. I'm not close enough to tackle it into that space. So he just gets to move on. And he does. And as he goes there, look, little bit of a dum. Do you see his leg movement? His little leg movement makes a bit of hesitation for everybody. But this guy still hasn't really moved or done anything. What he does manage to do is keep his legs open, and this kiddie here, he's good enough to slot the ball straight through them into the final corner then, yeah. And he does. Takes a little touch, puts it straight through. It's a quality goal, it really is. But that's how quick you can turn a game if you have some skill in your feet. Let's get on to the next goal. Before we do, though, I just want to comment a little bit on this Cucurella's, I can never say his name properly, Cucurella's header. He really should have done better with this. He's a better player than this by far. You can see that through the Euros. As he's stepped up his game massively this year, which has actually helped the whole team of Chelsea step up because he's playing well. He just should have done a little bit better with this in that situation there. Look, it's just an awful header, really. When he's headed it down, which is what you want to do as an attacker, the problem is you can only really do that if there's enough pace and power on the ball. As soon as that ball hits the ground there, it takes all the pace off it. If he gets it just left or right and it doesn't hit the ground, he's got himself a goal. But he hasn't. He's knocked it down the keeper's throat and all the pace is gone after it hits the ground. Bonk. And it makes it easy for the keeper to do something. If he doesn't do that, yeah, he got himself a goal. But yeah, let's carry on. in good old cash fashion, we're not carrying on because I found something else I want to say. Right, I rag on defenders all the time, but this Fulham cat right here, he actually does a decent job. Watch the difference is he's not trying to stop the ball and make a pass. What he does is, oh, he clears the ball, clears his lines. There's the ball, and he just smashes it away into the open space. Off it goes. You can see it's travelling down there into the open space, and he's actually defended the football. Woo! Who would think you can defend in the Premier League? But he did anyway. This time we're finally going to move it on to the goals. So as we're moving this forward, I want to show you, there's this thing in football when it happens, and no one talks about it because they don't really know what they're talking about. When a player goes down on your team then has this sort of psychological reaction that the ref's going to stop the game because one of your players is down. And it doesn't happen all of the time, but it does happen. And you can kind of see that with this Chelsea team defending here. Everybody just kind of switches off just a little bit. And that's all that counts. I mean, just that little bit is all that they need to score a goal at any level. So when he's breaking through, this guy here, he's absolutely smashed into, well, not really, he's barely touched him, but he's gone down like an absolute house of cards, and he's rolling around on the floor. The difference is Fulham keep playing and Chelsea don't. Chelsea end up sort of half playing. They're playing, but you can see it's not at 100%, and this is why they get caught out on this. And actually, it's one of these interesting things. When I was doing the analysis last year of Arsenal scored a lot of their goals from doing this. Right, they were in the box, they had the ball on one side, and they knocked it onto the other, and that's where they scored. But inside the box, inside this sort of zone here, if you draw another little roundabout, that's what happens on this goal right here. So we'll watch him drive forward into the space, and immediately watch, right? He's asking for the ball, he wants it there. He's not reacting. He's just, look, he's just half thinking about the player on the ground there. And by the way, remember, you need 100% of your brain focused on the game, not 92 or 98. It doesn't work. So if he's a little bit distracted by him just for a split second, that's why he's not tracking this run properly and he's able to get down so easily. Look, you can see it. He's he was right next to him and now he's almost 5 yards away from him just because he's concerned about the player on the ground. This is a common thing in football, more than you think. The lower the level you go down as well, the more you will see it. People do it an awful lot, trying to ask for the ref. And it's funny, it'll hit a plateau as you go down through the lower leagues, and then it stops. And then they don't react to it at the lower league. No matter how bad the player's injured, they just don't care and they keep playing. It's really interesting. And then it stops. So on it goes, knocks it over, and it's not a good cross. He's just hitting it across the box. Now, I want you to pay attention because we're gonna draw him here. Boom, boom, boom. He's going to be the goal scorer, right? So it's not bad. They're set up defensively to deal with this. That's okay. That's perfectly fine. But the switch off happens when the ball hits the back post here. So as it goes across, he knocks it over. Off it goes. This is where the switch off. Look, that little run has been made. And I think this is Caicedo here. He stops running. He's just like, whatever. And everyone has just left what they were doing, marking and waiting for this reaction, this thing on the back post here. And it's just a little poor header knocked back across. It's completely on the onside, unmarked. And all he's done, started his run about there, run through these two players about there. Well, 1 and 2 have moved from there to there and created the space. And nobody has paid any attention to him ghosting in there on the back post, getting himself an easy header. Yeah, not good. Not only that, though, the back post header here should have been contested much better. It should have been stronger there on the back post, but they just weren't. Chelsea do have the squad to go on and challenge for the title this year. They're just lacking a little bit of experience on the field to make sure things like that don't happen. If they had 1 or 2 more experienced players, I guarantee you that goal wasn't happening right there. But let's get on to the next one. So this is the winning goal from Fulham. And again, I'm going to talk to you about that experience. So if Chelsea are at home, they're against Fulham, who are a decent mid-table side. They really are. Them, Nottingham Forest, Brentford. They're 3 of those teams that you don't really mess around with because you know what? They can beat you and they will. So when I'm talking about that experience on the field for Chelsea, this is that point where they go, right, we want to get the winning goal, but we're not going to push too far forward or make a silly mistake that we end up conceding and throwing all the 3 points away. And that's the difference of actual real good quality and talent in the old football and knowing what they're doing, right? So he wins the ball, it's terrible, and it goes out. But when this ball goes out wide here, what's the difference? The energy from this guy and this guy here, these two cats running through the middle of the field, are not matched by Caicedo. So if this was an experienced team, or Caicedo and Endo Fernandez, and you can say, oh, he's won a World Cup, don't care. They're not experienced enough to understand as soon as those runners start going this close near the end of the game, you match their energy. You have to. Otherwise, you're going to be in real trouble. And when we move this forward, I'm going to show you something which compounds the situation, because I was thinking all the time that this was the back line. But no, we've got two players back here, one Fulham and one Chelsea player, that are so deep, then that's the problem that gives it so easy for them to counter-attack. And that's why I'm saying these two players have to match the energy. One running there, this one, when he starts running, he has to start running across with him as well, but they don't. So as we move it forward, boom, off it goes. Do you see? Boom, he just blows past him. Blows past Cassette, gone. Now we've got two players running over here. Any ball that's played or anything that happens, it's 2v1. This guy now has to start sprinting because it's all too late. And when that ball's played, it was from here into that space in behind, into this massive area. Well, he was already so far back. And there's the other Fulham player I was talking about as well that come into the fray. Now, these two can't do anything at this point because when their original energy started going, they weren't in full retreat. And also, you can see the extra space that Chelsea had left because they were pushing forward for that other goal. So that means you have to make that extra run. You know, I'm talking about that extra energy. You have to be aware of that. You know, if your team's going forward and doing that, you have to make sure that we don't concede that goal because we've opened up that space at the back for us. Now he starts to go. Now Endo's, is it? I'm not sure. Well, whatever his name is, the one with the racist one. That's what we'll call him. Starts to make a run back in, but it's all going to be too late because now there's no real shape. I don't know what this guy was doing so far back, but it's causing his team all sorts of problems. Simple ball. Now it's just to take a touch, scoop it across, and he's not there. But look at the difference. He's almost there. If he had started 2 strides earlier, 2 strides, he would have been there. That is the difference. Not knowing when to actually start your run in the last 35 minutes of the game. And the 95th minute of the game, not putting that energy in, that's how you get beat, and that's how you lose your 3 points. Takes a touch. Actually, it's a pretty bad touch. It goes underneath his feet. It's one of those ones that your touch is too good, that it actually stops so close to underneath you. You've got to dig it out and scoop it through. He does, gets himself a goal, and gets his 3 points. Well, other than that, I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.